great viewing here, and especially from the main grandstand in front of fences 7 and 8 in the main arena. Well, the warm-up area is pretty full. Great to see so many down there enjoying the fabulous weather conditions here. We had a lot of rain here yesterday, but the ground conditions in the arena really are second to none. The footing near perfect, and we look forward to some great action here this afternoon. So coming into the main arena, just about to come under the Longines arch and into the arena to jump around this track. Time, the riders thought, was going to be fairly tight, with a lot of opportunities just to go a little bit wide on some of the turns. But it is Nicolas Philippart for Belgium, first to go with the 10-year-old stallion, Chili Willy. Some really good success with this stallion, and as I said, many riders out there really interested to see how the first tackles Giuliano Vezzani's course. 13 numbered fences, 16 jumping efforts, and a time allowed 81 seconds. So 2 rounds in the Grand Prix, and they take forward their score from the first round into the second. So Nicolas Philippart for Belgium, first to go, Chili Willy. So we look forward to that. The bell goes for Nicolas. Chili Willy by Casal. Holsteiner goes to the Oxa at 1. This Europa Oxa at 1 sets them off quite nicely. Just adds a stride to the Nations Cup upright at 2. Walks on 9 strides down there, just it goes on 10. Coming round on that turn to the Oxa at 3. Wouldn't have set it out, possibly one of the quickest. He jumps at 4, then right-handed to the treble. This is a very tight line to the treble. 2 strides between the uprights and 1 to the Oxa on the exit. Then quickly on, continuing this right-hand turn to the Exonic upright. Quite a big upright off the corner, round the bank. Now in front of the grandstand to 7 and 8. Very nicely through the double. Time 81 seconds, remember, into 11, 12 and 13. Going to be all right, actually. Time looking pretty good. Gives that a bit of a rub, but well inside the time. Great round there for Nicolas Philippart. And Chili Willy, no jumping, no time. Time looks pretty easy. That may well be changed. We'll wait and see, but the time allowed, 81 seconds, looks pretty lenient so far. Well, the next to jump is Laura Klefaka. Laura riding Catch Me If You Can, 10-year-old mare. But great start there for the Belgian rider Nicolas Philippart, and Chili Willy made it look very easy indeed. Just wonder whether he's lulled a few of these riders into a false sense of security as Laura starts her round. Catch Me If You Can, 21. Team gold medalist from the European Championships in 2010. German champion also in that same year. And then another team gold at the Europeans in 2014. Had some really good Grand Prix victories as well. Placed in the 4-star at Munster. A rail goes in the middle of the treble, so 4 penalties to add in the middle of the treble. And also that rail goes. Now that rail at 6 was one of the fences we thought would be pretty influential coming out of the treble. It was on a very tight line down there. It's a very big upright, the Exonic upright. Sees a really good stride to the castle fence. So carrying 8 penalties as they come back down the final line. This is a very straight line back towards the final fence. And 4 to the Longines plank. Stops the clock as well inside the time. It is at 8 penalties though for Laura Zafaka and Catch Me If You Can, 21. Middle part of the treble and also the upright at 6, both hitting the ground for the young German rider. So it's not proving, I think, what we said about Nicola lulling these riders into a false sense of security. That may well be the trend because he made it look very easy. Stephanie Holman it is now. Flipped Little Sparrow. Well, there's the combination that have been going very, very well. 12-year-old mare by Cardento. So just understanding we've had a withdrawal in the Grand Prix for Hungary. So far so good for this young lady. Flips Little Sparrow, we had a really good win recently. Gives the back rail of the Oxer at 8, a bit of a clatter, but it does stay up. So only 12 combinations going forward, the top 12 to the second round. They'll run in reverse order. So still clear. Coming down to the last 2. Gets close, has the back rail down though. And jumps the last. 4 penalties to add for Stephanie Holman. Flips Little Sparrow. Time was good, 77.21. Well, still only the one clear from the first to go. Nicola Philipparts and Chidi Willy are only clear so far in this Longines Grand Prix first round.
For Belgium in this Longines Grand Prix, the number 4 of his harness. Willem de Meer is starting at IQ van Station, the Belgium wanted by Toulon. Willem de Meer, number 62 in the Longines ranking, was finishing on the 3rd place on the Krefeld Grand Prix. And also a victory last year. The Nations Cup of First and also victory in the St. Moritz Grand Prix.
Well, now it is Wilma Vermeer and IQ van het Stintje. So IQ van het Stintje, 10-year-old for Belgium, second rider for Belgium of the first 4. Had some good form as well with this 10-year-old. So if you're just joining us, we're here in Samorin in Slovakia for the Longines Grand Prix. And after 3 riders, 1 clear. First to go, Nicola Philipparts. Second to go, Laura Klafak. Had 2 down. And then Stephanie Holman, third to go, Flips Little Sparrow. Just the 1 fence on the floor for 4 penalties. Time allowed 81 seconds. Already proved fairly easy to get the time. But jumping really well. IQ van het Stintje. Oh dear. Well, getting the stride all wrong, coming to the penultimate fence. lucky to get away at the last as well, and just inside the time allowed. That was really unfortunate for Vilma Vermeer and IQ van et Stigia. They had one fence down. That couldn't really avoid that. It's quite a funny distance down there from 11 to 12. On 5 strides, just lost a little bit of power off the corner, and coming to the Longines water tray, didn't really have what he needed at the Oxa at 12. It's upright, Oxa, upright to finish on that 3-line fence coming towards home. Well, now it's the turn of Alberto Zozzi. Well, what a year he's had, what a career he's had, and really has improved. Van An for Italy, 9-year-old babe by Diamant de Semi. He'll be looking for a great round. Italian rider Alberto Zozzi and Van An.
And as Dorothy just told you, to add some information on Alberto Zozzi, that he was finishing on the 4th place on the last European Championships in Göteborg.
Ešte pripomeňme, že teda v prvom kole uvidíme spolu 48 jazdeckých dvojíc, a to znamená, že do kola druhého postupí 12 najlepších s tým, že v druhom kole budú štartovať v opačnom poradí z kola prvého a trestné body si do kola druhého prinášajú tiež.
So, just about to start his round then is the Italian rider Alberto Zozzi and Van An. Just the one fence down so far. It is still only the one clear round that we've had from first to go. Certainly not proving the course we thought, although when walking it we thought the time might be a little bit tighter than it is. They've managed to travel across the ground pretty well. The ground conditions out there are absolutely foot perfect. We had rain yesterday, which has really helped the going. Feels like a carpet underneath your feet walking the course. Well, the front rail goes. It's not going to be Alberto's day here with Van An. So a total of 8 jumping penalties. In fact, yeah, it is 8 jumping. So, 1 clear out of the first 5. We move to the first for Ireland. And it is Michael Duffy. Michael will be next to jump in the Longines Grand Prix. Michael riding EFS top contender by Loristown, 12-year-old Michael. He's had some really good young rider form. Moved to England back in 2013 to train with Shane Breen, based at Hickstead. And in September of that year, he opened his account at that famous showground in the United Kingdom with a win in the All England Grand Prix. Won many classes, top shows, including really good 4-star in Abu Dhabi and also Dubai. The Global Champions Tour, Longines Global Champions Tour in Hamburg. Hicks did Palm Beach, Florida. One of good few speed derbies in his time as well. Currently standing way up in the Longines world rankings. He's really improving. Got a good team of horses as well. Ooh, that stride again down to yeah, wheels just came off the cart. That stride again from the Longines upright, proving a little bit troublesome, not only for Michael, but for Willem Vermaer as well. And it is 8 penalties right at the very end of the course. Last 2 fences down for Michael Duffy for Ireland, an EFS top contender. Well, that was a real shame for the Irish. The Irish with 4 riders here in the Longines Grand Prix. Next the jump for Belgium. It's the Belgian international Peter de Vos with Claire. Peter, who finished 9th at the World Cup finals in Paris just a few weeks ago. Rides this 10-year-old mare by Clearway. Well, still only that one clear round that we've had. Peter who won the Shanghai Grand Prix back in 2014, then the Grand Prix bronze medalist at the Longines Global Champions Tour Miami Beach back in 2015. Certainly enjoyed number of victories in the Global Champions Tour, multiple Grand Prix wins, and another one. Just have a good look down that line. Does well, rides well, and the last goes. So 4 penalties at the last. He looks over his shoulder, and he's not alone at that fence. He's wondering whether it's a little bit of a reverse arch there, and whether there's a little bit of shadow. You can see Claire just having a good look at the middle part of the treble as well. A little bit suspicious. The light here is very good. A bit of shadow cast as the sun is coming a little bit on your screens as it looks there right to left, but actually there's a little bit of shadow on the landing side of these fences. So it could just be giving them a little bit of uncertainty, but Peter de Vos and Claire, they did pick up that one penalty, one fence down. Well, now it's Malin Barriard Johnson with H&M Q Channa 42, 12-year-old mare by Cardento. Beautifully through the treble, really showing the scope. Really nicely down to that exonic upright as well. That has hit the floor a couple of times. Gets quite close to the oxer coming in front of the stands. Well, really good clear round. Really good clear round for Malin Vejard Johnson, H&M Chana. Second clear round in this class so far with 8 combinations gone now. Really super jumping round from this 12-year-old. So now for Spain, Eduardo Alvarez Aznar with Equelin de Sulci. Equelin de Sulci, 10-year-old gelding by Quincy. So 8 gone, 2 clear rounds. Top 12 go forwards to round 2, and 49 combinations throughout this Longines Grand Prix. 16 nations represented, remember, with that one withdrawal from the Hungarian, drops us down to 15 nations and 48. Now, a number of the riders from the World Cup finals in Paris are contesting this Grand Prix. Peter de Vos, saw him, and Eduardo Alvarez Aznar, he one of those that finished 6th in the World Cup final in Paris. Steve Gerdatz, he'll come a little bit later, but the upright at 6 goes. Another one of the bogey fences out there wrong course. And the back rail of the double also. So carrying 8 penalties, Eduardo Alvarez Aznar. So jumping 10 and the roll back to 11, 12 and 13. Sees a good stride off of the corner. Got to come forward off the corner to get the 5 strides, and then the 4 down to the Longines plank. Total of 8 jumping though. 8 jumping penalties. 1 at 6, 1 at 8A. So another rider finishing on 8 jumping penalties. Malin Vejard Johnson, H&M Chana, and Nicolas Philippa, Chili Willy, the only 2 clear rounds so far. Well, we thought it would be a challenging track that Giuliano Zani had set. It is now Maximilian Vector and London 32. Maximilian with the 16-year-old by Landstreicher, representing Poland. Clear of the first 2. Time allowed 81 seconds. Dear. Well, that's a real shame. So the clock stopped. It will be started again in a second for this young man, Maximilian. So bell goes again. Back underway he gets. Oh, that's it. Well, sadly, 2 refusals under the rules. Is elimination for Maximilian Vector, London 32. That ends their Longines Grand Prix. Well, looking down the scoreboard so far, it's 2 clear rounds. Nicolas Philippart, Chili Willy, first to go. We then had to wait for Another 7 horses before us. We saw our second clear round for Malin Varia Johnson and H&M Kuchana. They were our second. 3 combinations on 4 faults. Stephanie Holman with Flips Little Sparrow, Vilma Vemia and IQ Van et Stincher on 4, and also Peter de Vos, Claire Z on 4 penalties as well. 2 clear rounds. It is now Gonzalo Anon. Gonzalo riding Clamp d'Ivray, 14-year-old by Dandy de Plap. So representing Spain, 3 Spanish riders. We've already had Eduardo Aznar with 8 jumping. This is now the second of the Spanish riders in the Longines Grand Prix. Part of the treble goes just getting a little bit tight in front. Clamp d'Ivray, but comes out of the treble well enough. I'm interested to see how he comes down this line here. Needs to keep covering the ground. Yeah, does so. Just see when he jumps in the air, doesn't really use his head and neck all the time. It's a little bit higher and the legs don't really tuck up underneath him. They're better, but a little bit slow in front. Gives the front rail of the Oxa at 10 a really good rub. Now down this final line, needs to come forward. 5 and then 4. And gets the distance, but does have the last down as well. So a total of 8 jumping from Gonzalo Anon and Clamp d'Ivray. 8 jumping penalties in a time of 78.47. Well, no time faults across the board so far for the first few horses. We're now heading towards the 12th to go of the 48. An unfortunate 2 fences down. Now into the arena, another rider for Italy. It's Pier Giorgio Bucci. Pier Giorgio with De Niro by Argentinas, 11-year-old. Representing Italy, the first rider Alberto Zozzi was the first of the Italians. We have 2 now in a quick succession. So Pier Giorgio Bucci and De Niro for Italy, owned by Pier Giorgio himself. Oh, and then a little bit naughty, but I don't think he was ever really going to get there on the 2 strides in the middle of the treble. Certainly not proving a easy track by any shape or form. So coming again. There's the middle part down. So penalties racking up for Pier Giorgio Bucci and De Niro. So it just doesn't look like he's really enjoying his time out there. Much more confident through the double though, coming out at 8, carrying 12. Ooh, now 16, getting very close to that wall. So 16 jumping, he will probably have a couple of time faults as well. Turning towards home, yeah, he's not happy out there, is he? This will be his second disobedience, and that is refusal, counting as a refusal, an elimination for Pier Giorgio Bucci and De Niro. He wasn't overly happy. So just
ktorá znamená vylúčenie dvojice.
Not sure why he was doing that. So, probably just turning a corner, hanging back towards the collecting ring, De Niro. He has now gone back to that and jumped the Longines water tray just to make sure that he can come round the corner and jump that, not get away with that little bit of naughtiness. So, elimination for the Italian rider, Giorgio Bucci and De Niro. And we welcome in now the next to go for Italy. It is Bruno Cimeri with Tawamush by Diamant de Semi, 11-year-old. Bruno, who rode in Athens at the Olympic Games back in 2004, finishing 19th individually there. He had a couple of good championships as well over the last couple of decades. That's certainly one of his biggest major achievements so far in his career. The middle part of the treble goes again. To work quite hard through the combination at 8. It's quite a funny stride down there again, running on 6. They just take their minds off the job momentarily against the grandstand area, but now clear of 10, coming back down the line. This related distance on 5 and 4. Yeah, another one. Have a good look. And over the last. So 4 penalties. He joins the 4 penalty club. 4 of them now on 4, 2 clears. Top 12 going through. Well, now into the arena for the Czech team. It's Zuzana Zelenkova with Kaleri the second.
Ďalšou štartujúcou dvojicou je 15-ročný žrebec Fokhalido Kaleri a v jeho sedle známa česká jazdkyňa, účastníčka taktiež aj svetových jazdeckých hier, Zuzana Zelenková.
Through the treble, then onto this exonic upright, has that down. Zuzana Kaleri the second, 15-year-old by Kalido. There's a real big kick out, kick back at the B element, the upright 8B. So far, another one of those to join the 4-fault club. 4 on, 4 faults, 2 clears, 20 on 8, and the 2 eliminations so far. Has another one just have a really good hang around the corner. And a good look. Oh, she did well. And over the last time, okay, 79.76, 1 fence down, 4 penalties to add for Zuzana Zelenkova and Kaleri the second. Well, building into quite an exciting competition, as we knew it would, with the first 14 riders in the Longines Grand Prix. 2 clears, 5 on 4, 3, 4, 5 riders on 8 penalties. Top 12 going through. Got a long way to go. 48 combinations coming through with 15 nations represented for the Longines Grand Prix. Of course, we're very much looking forward to the Nations Cup coming up in 2 days' time. It is now Paul Esterman with Curtis Seitz. So Paul, an experienced rider for the Swiss team. Very keen motorbikist as well. Doesn't have the easiest of careers. Had a few setbacks, missed his goal of competing at the Olympic Games back in 2016. Took a couple of years out of competing. Really did burden him, but he has come back to good form. A number of horses at his base. So it is clear round number 3 for Paul Esterman and Curtis Seitz. It's a really good clear round number 3 on the board. It is Paul Esterman, Switzerland, Nicolas Philippart, Belgium, and Malin Barriard Johnson, Sweden, the only 3 clear rounds so far. Well, now it's Jan Bobic with Chaco and McCaw. Jan for Poland with the 9-year-olds by Chaco Blue. Poland with 2 riders in the Longines Grand Prix. Maximilian Vechte, member London 32, was the first of the Polish runners to go. He's sadly eliminated. So Poland hoping for a good round from Jan Bobic. Royal at 4, down. Nicely through the treble though. Turning back to this big upright at 6. Gives it a bit of a rub, but it does stay in the cups. Yep. Good round so far from this young man. Who has a bit of a fight down to the Oxturn, just takes that with him. There wasn't a lot he could do there. As he landed, Chaco Amacourt just took the bridle, ran down that line, then had to just do his best, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Yeah, and gives the last rub as well. So in the first one we've seen over the time 12 jumping, 1 time penalty for every 4 seconds over. It's 1 time, so 12 jumping, 1 time, total of 13 for Chaco Amacourt and Jan Bobic for Poland. Unfortunate round, but wouldn't be the most experienced at this level. 1m60 in the Longines Grand Prix. It's all about gaining experience as much as you can around these tracks, and a truly international field here. We're now jumping the rider for Italy, Luca Marziani with Tokyo du Soleil. Luca Marziani and Tokyo du Soleil for Italy by Montenda. So Francais Bay, 11-year-old. 3rd rider for Italy, 4th rider in fact for Italy. Italy not had the best of rounds so far. Best of the Italians was Bruno Chimeri and Taramouche, which is the one fence down. Tokyo du Soleil jumping really well so far. A bit close, but he really does try and be as athletic as he can be over these fences. Really turns himself inside out. Interesting watching his technique in front and behind. He separates the two definitely. Tries in front, then tries even harder behind when he needs to do so. Great to see so many people standing on the banks watching as well. A lot of riders, a lot of combinations that are still to come. Really right. And another one. It has proved to be really tricky, this little fence in the middle of the line coming towards home, jumping so well as well, and he is not alone. We've seen quite a few horses just have a look. He doesn't want to go back there, and that is elimination. 2 refusals at that second last. And I think it might well be the shadows underneath. He just says, puts his hand out and says, well, what's that all about? But Tokyo du Soleil, you are not alone, I can tell you, at that fence. And I would expect, and we're just watching the next combination coming into the arena, they're having a trot round. They're having a trot round that fence as well. I just want to see whether they're trotting towards that. Steve Gerdat, he knows what he's doing. And again, Hannah, that he rides, is having a good look at that fence. I think we'll have a look at it. You just saw you now look to your, you can't quite see the angle from there. There's a little archway underneath it, and there's shadow definitely underneath the fence. Steve Gerdat is Hannah. Steve, of course, the former Olympic champion from the 2012 Olympic Games. Steve's father, of course, a very good show jumper and chef d'équipe of the French show jumping team. Steve's been fascinated by horses since he started riding very early on. He won a junior European bronze and young rider European team bronze before claiming a European team bronze in his first year as a senior. He's had top 3 FEI World Cup final placings. He was 10th at the finals in Paris just a few weeks ago. Won the European team gold and claimed Olympic gold and Olympic bronze. Oh, 6 goes, 4 penalties. And the back rail of 8 as well. This is not Hannah's day. 8 jumping. Gives the wall a rub, but all the bricks stay in place. So turning for home, 3 fences. Let's see what Hannah makes of this middle part. What's the first? Right hard. She doesn't take much notice of that fence then. Well in her rhythm. And time is okay, 78.01. But 8 penalties there for Steve Gerdat and Hannah. Oh, what a real shame. We'd love to have seen him in the second round, I'm sure. But it wasn't to be for the former Olympic champion. It is now Luka Zalonczyk. Luka with Coupe de Rouet by Coup de Coeur, Ballet de Rouet lines representing Macedonia. Luka Zalonczyk for Macedonia, the only representative for Macedonia. 12-year-old. Well, he's still clear. Certainly has his own style as well, but he's getting the job in hand done. Clear 7, 8. Wall. Well, this could be a really good clear out. Ugh. Just as I say that, the front rail goes of 10 for Luka Zaloznik. Oh, another one. It is the shadows. When we walked the course, it was certainly not something we never looked at, but it's certainly something the horses are looking at. Please get home. You've got 8. Come on. You've got 8, and you're going to have some time faults as well. 97.77 is the time taken, so it's a total of 13 for Luka Zaloznik and Coupe de Rouet. Well, that's a real shame, because until then he was jumping really rather well, had the one fence down, but certainly that middle part of the line coming home at fence 12 with the arch and the little shadows is catching a lot of experienced horses out, and a lot of experienced riders as well. Well, a disappointment there for Luka Zaloznik and Coupe de Rouet. They'll be back though, as it is now for Slovakia. The first of the Slovakians, it's Radovan Silo and Darren W. By Valiant, 10-year-old gelding. 2 riders from Slovakia. This is the first of them. The last rider to go is Bronislav Churiba. He will be last to jump. Home nation with 2 riders here in Slovakia. Ooh. Fence on the floor. We're in Samorin. Without Samorin, it is spelt Samorin, but got the correct pronunciation of that yesterday. Well, now 12 jumping penalties, and coming towards home. What will this combination make of it? Steadying. Yeah, just hear him making a little bit of a noise coming down to that fence, making sure they get it. But time as well, 12 jumping, 2 time for the Slovakian. Radovan Silo and Darren. So a total of 14, 12 jumping, 2 time. Well, next to go is for Ireland. We've had one for Ireland, Michael Duffy, had a couple of rails down. This is now the second for Ireland. This is Shane Sweeten with Indra van der Oud I Oath. Shane Sweeten with the 10-year-old. It's mare by Casantos.
Of course, bronze medalists at the last European Championships with the Irish team.
Young man that's been on the Irish teams and has had some really good form as well. number of these combinations jumping in the Grand Prix. It's a bit of a warm-up for Sunday's Nations Cup. Rather than certainly improving over the years as well. Six strides. It's on a fairly forward five, or a really good six. He just comes down there, sits quietly on the six strides. So clear coming down that final line, 11, 12, 13. Longines upright, the bogey fence at 12. Oh, goes low over the water tray. Jumps the influential 12. And clears the last as well. It's 4 penalties in a time of 77.22 for Shane Sweetnam and Indra van der Oud. 4 penalties may well be good enough. We don't know. We've only had 3 clear rounds. He joins the 4 falters. He'll come down to the fastest times as well coming forward. But Shane Sweetnam and Indra van der Oud, they carry 4 penalties.
Young talent now coming up from Sweden, where the number 22. She is now ranked number 92 on the Longines ranking 7 in Sharjah, 7th also in Dubai, and 10th in Göteborg. Miss Sheridan.
So next jump for Sweden is Evelina Tovek. Mills Sheridan. From a very horsey family. Her sister Isabella competes in dressage professionally. No squabble. Cert for cert. Challenge with horse then Ozdebrev, competing regularly for Sweden now. Look, jumps it there. Oh, well, the last goes. 4 penalties to add in a time of 77.60. 77.50 for Evelina Tovek and Mills Sheridan. 4 penalties.
Also, South Africa is starting up in this Longines Grand Prix, where we start at the World Exhibition Games in Caen. At the start with Imperial van der Koningshoeve, Carabianca Fru.
Well, now it is Carabianca Fru. Carabianca with Imperio, VD Koningshoeve. Everyone enjoying the wonderful weather here. It is for South Africa. Carabianca Fru, Imperio, VD Koningshoeve. 10-year-old by Urko van der Rukshur. Oh, that's a shame.
Unfortunately, we won't go further in the scores of Carabianca Fru for South Africa on the Longines triple combination.
Takže táto dvojica musí byť vylúčená z ďalšieho pokračovania v súťaži. Pre takú neposlušnosť to bol Imperio van der Koningshoeve a Carabianca Fru.
Just not their day, unfortunately. So just about halfway now. It is now Louis Francisco, 11-year-old by Verdi, representing Brazil. Brazil with a number of riders in the Grand Prix, 5 in total.
6. mieste Grand Prix po Darlington.
Well, Luis Francisco de Azevedo for Brazil, one of those looking forwards to the Nations Cup on Sunday. Live local time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 8 nations represented for the Nations Cup. First leg of 8 here in Slovakia. It's Samorin. Quite a tight line down from 4 to the treble at 5. So he's a good spot in. 2 strides. 1, he stretches. Wow. Comic is really trying. Still clear. Solly down into 10th place, 12 going forwards. We may not see that 4th fault. It was a kind of slow 4th faulter. Will we see her go forwards into the 2nd round of the Longines Grand Prix? Well, there goes Holly Smith with Heart's Destiny, as we now welcome the Brazilian rider Luis Felipe de Azevedo with Chacito. Another one by Chaco Blue, 12-year-olds. So 4 clear rounds so far. Had that one with Jura, remember, from the Hungarian rider. So 48 combinations coming through, and a total of 15 nations in this Longines Grand Prix. Just putting his hand up. Himself organised before starting his first round Grand Prix. 1.60 m, the height of a lot of these fences. Wouldn't be the biggest Chacito. Certainly what he lacks for in height, he makes up for in bravery. Wonderful setting here in Samorin. Purpose-built facility with also a racetrack here. A number of arenas, grass arenas or weather arenas, hotel, football pitch, gymnasium, Olympic-sized swimming pool, you name it, it's here. And the riders really are enjoying top-class facilities and a top-class venue in Slovakia. Nicely through the double at 8, jumping out of his skin, the little 12-year-old Chacito coming towards home. 3 fences left. Sees a good stride off the corner. Come on, come on. Ooh, really does try. And a clear round. That's clear round number 5. But it is 1 time penalty for Luis Felipe de Azevedo Chacito. 1 time, can you believe it? Goes into 5th place, but it is a clear round, but 1 does drop him down a little bit, but I think that will secure his place in the 2nd round. So we now have 1 for Belgium, 1 for Sweden, 1 for Switzerland, and 2 for Brazil, possibly in that all-important 2nd round after the last jump. Now it's Holger Hetzel, and he's riding Legionaire, Holsteiner by Limbus. Longines, 14-year-old, representing Germany. Germany's got a really good squad here, with 5 in the Longines Grand Prix. Battle coming out. At the moment, though, we haven't got a German combination with a clear. And Holger will be the first of those. There's Woe in the middle of the double. Steadying, settling down in his rhythm. A bit feisty going down the line. Still clear. 20 seconds just to get home. Longines down to the middle part of the combination, and the last, and another clear round, and the second fastest of the clear round so far. So that is that 6, 5 clears, 1 with 1 time fault. And I think we're going to look forward to a really good second round here in the Longines Grand Prix. A beautiful weather, the sun shining, sky blue sky, temperature is in the low to mid 20s at the moment, low 20s possibly. Perfect jumping conditions for the Longines Grand Prix. Well, next to jump in this class, and just coming under the Longines arch into the arena, the sole representative for Egypt, it is Abdul Said and Callisto by Quasimodo, an 11-year-old Dutch-bred gelding. Abdul Said certainly had some great success in the past. Given a couple of rattle, but they're still in the cups. Time looking okay at the moment. Needs to keep coming down this final line. 1 left to jump. Will it be clear for Egypt? Great by Santolano. So carrying the 4, coming towards home. Well, I didn't really get the distance down there. Had a good look at the water tray, and then a little bit of a wriggle in between fences. Just has that fence down in the middle. So a total of 8 jumping and time of 80.28 just inside the time. 8 jumping there for Andrzej Zvara and Cento Lano for Czechoslovakia. Well, moving further down, this will be number 31 of the 48 that come forward. So just 17 left to go. That was the mistake he made coming down. He did that in the line from 11 to 12 as well. He's a little bit over exuberant and loses a bit of ground. Well, now Great Britain again with their second rider. Of course, Holly Smith, the first of them. This is now Sam Hutton. Sam with Happy Dam. Happy Dam by Quidam de Revel. 11-year-old Sam, who's been riding for a number of years now. Went to a friend's party when he was a young lad and rode and has never stopped. Really was inspired as a young child by the likes of Harvey Smith and the Whitakers, based now in the Netherlands at the Stahl Tops. That's the last part of the travel. So 4 penalties for Samuel. Based in the Netherlands. Career highlights probably includes, I would say, qualifying for the Horse of the Year show a couple of years ago on a wild card and going on to win his first international class there. That was back in the early 2010, and then won the Horse of the Year show leading rider trophy the following year. One just to have the front rail. So total of 8 inside the time. That is 8 for Sam Hutton. Happy Dam. So it wasn't the happiest of rounds for the young man from Great Britain.
Number 103 on the elimination ranking, second in the nation's cup of Festival, and fifth in Brussels last year.
Pokračovať budeme dvojicou reprezentujúcou v Nemecko na štarte 12-ročný Balach Bovandor van der Wiespeler Gojak a v jeho sedle Jan Fredrik Bayer Zimmermann.
Well, now it's the turn of Hanny Meyer Zimmermann and Gojak, 27. Brussels last year by Van Gogh and Mr. Pellier. Double. He does get himself out of trouble though, which is a bit of a blessing in disguise, because 16 jumping efforts around the course that the Italian international course designer Giuliano Vezzani has set for these riders. But now it is Jos Voloy, Harold van der Reutershoff by Lord Z, 11-year-old Jos Voloy, one of those that's had an amazing career riding this 11-year-old in the Longines Grand Prix. Six goes. And the back rail of 8A. Jos Voloy, 2 fences down so far. Just hanging towards the collecting ring, needs to get his eye on the job. A bit sticky down that line, he's hanging all the way. He was doing a great job down there, but certainly was hanging around 80.99, 1/100th of a second inside the time allowed of 81 seconds. So it is just 8 for the Belgian rider. But it won't be good enough to take them forward into round 2.
šiestej priečke. Taktiež bol súčasťou 2 olympijských hier. V roku 2017 obsadil 3. miesto vo finále svetového poháru a taktiež bol súčasťou aj svetových jazdeckých.
Well, now in the arena is Henrik von Eckermann. Henrik, who was a podium finish at the World Cup finals in Paris, finishing third there. Competed at the 2009 European Championships, fifth individually at the 2011 European Championships with Coupe de Coeur. Competed at the London 2012 Olympics. Team's bronze medalist from the European Championships in 2013. Silver medalist at the Longines Global Champions Tour in 2014. Career really has spanned many years. Also competed at the 2014 World Equestrian Games. The middle part of the treble goes though. So that is another 4. It's going to be quick 4s as well that go forward if anything's to play for at the moment, with 6 clear rounds, 1-on-1 time penalty. That's the rider from Brazil. And the back, or the last part, the upright at 8B hits the floor as well. Not really travelling across the ground. Come on, need to get it in the air over this Oxer. Now just turning for the final line. 11, 12, 13, 5 strides and 4 strides with that influential fence in the middle. Turning, hanging towards home, another one to do that. And over the last 8 jumping, and only just inside the time as well. It's a total of 8 for Henrik von Eckermann and Newton Abbott.
Number 32 on the Longines rankings, second in Abu Dhabi, 4th in Zurich, 9th in China. We welcome German rider Philipp Weishaupt.
Well, now the turn of Germany, and we're into the final few in round 1. It is Philipp Weishaupt with Assatir by Diamant de Semi, 11-year-old mare. So representing Germany, Philipp Weishaupt has again had a really good show here so far in many of the classes. Working hard through the treble, the Longines treble. This Sonic upright at 6. Certainly when we walk the course, I think you may have heard mentioned before. Bit of a tricky line down there. It's a big upright after treble. A bit of riding between the elements 7-8. Just a bit of adjustment of the stride, making sure they meet 8A on a really good one, and they did so. And this line 9, 10. Is this going to be clear round number 7? 12 go forward. It's the fastest 12 if it comes down to the clears. Still clear, come on. And clears the last. Gives the plank a bit of a rub. But great clear round. That the first of the Germans as well through to, we think, well it will be, through 3rd fastest round so far for Philipp Weishaupt and Assatir. Really useful clear round number 7. Started off with Nicola Philipparts, Chili Willy, second of those, then Elena Bayard Johnson. 3rd clear was Paul Esterman for Switzerland. Then we had to wait a bit of a while before Luis Francisco de Azevedo came with Comic. Then the clears of Holger Hetzel and Abdul Said for Egypt. And it is now Werner with Zazo van Steen Paul upgrade by Coordinate Stern, 9 years old for Switzerland. Front part of the treble against the floor. One that just doesn't really use his neck all the time. Just hangs a little bit in the air, especially over the slightly bigger oxers, making his life a little bit more difficult. So Vandermoof coming down this line 9 and 10. It's quite close to the oxer at 10. Leaves it up, but does give it a good rattle. Tight turn back into the Longines upright. And over the last. Bit of an unusual technique, this horse, but it is just the one fence down, 4 penalties to add for Vandermoof and Zazo van Steenpaul. For Switzerland, still only with the 1 in the second round. Paul Esterman and Curtis Seat. We'll hopefully see if we can get another one through. They've got a couple of chances, Marcus Fuchs and also Yannick Sprunger. It is Andre Thiem now with Capitino. Capitino, Holsteiner by Contender, 10-year-old stallion, representing Germany. Well to get out. The first rail coming into the treble down. Fighting around the corner. Works hard in the double. Just saw him as he landed after 8A, just squeezing him off the floor for 8B. Making a good job of that. 9-10. Now they swim back left-handed down the line. It's a Longines upright with that water tray underneath. 5 strides then to the oxer in the middle. And we'll just see them. They're just all hanging back towards the collecting ring. Right hard down to the last, but it's 1 fence down again. 2 fences on the floor in total. 8 jumping for Andre Thiem and Capitino. 8 jumping, 80.76, only just 14 100ths inside the time as well. That time allowed of it, 81. The entrance of the main arena here in Samorin for the Longines Grand Prix. The first day, real day of top-class competition, as we now welcome into the arena Martin Fuchs, Martin riding Chaplin. Working hard in the treble, he gets that job done though. Going towards the line in front of the grandstand here. Steeped in history, the Fuchs family. well through 8A, 8B. A bit lucky at the front rail of 8A. It's still rolling in the cups. Come on, let's have another rider for Switzerland. We've got one in. Paul Esterman. We have two. Just watch the horse's eye. Let's see if he does it too. No, seems to have the eye on the job. Last fence, timed good. Oh, the last fence goes for Martin Fuchs and Chaplin. Total of 4. Hey, will that be quick enough? That is lying in 12th place at the moment. Top 12 go through into the second round of this Longines Grand Prix. Well, he's going to have to nervous wait now because there is 9 left to jump, and at the moment he's lying in 12th place, and only 12 are going through into round 2. There's some good combinations to come as well. Shane Breen for Ireland, another one for Switzerland, Yannicka Sprunger, then 2 for Brazil, Paul O'Shea Ireland, and then the young Slovakian last to jump. Well, now into the arena is Karina Jan-Peter. Karina, bronze at the Pan American Games in Santo Domingo back in 2003. Well, 1 down and 1 time penalty for Karina from Brazil, total of 5. Had some really good form in the past, but that will be disappointing for the Brazilian. We have one in, probably 2 Brazilians that will be going through into round 2, with the first of those jumping a really good clear round, Luis Francisco de Azevedo, and then not far behind was Luis Felipe de Azevedo with Jacito, 2 for Brazil. Well, down into the final 8 now. It is for Ireland, Shane Breen. Shane with Ipswich, Van der Vulkschaka. Chestnuts, 10-year-old by Carambar de Meuse. Shane had an amazing career, owned by the Breen Equestrian, Jos Lansik horses. Jos has been hugely influential as well. Amazing owner for Shane. In the jump off, well, just second round, not really the jump off. The jump off form, it's a much shorter track in the second round. Shane Sweetnam, who jumped earlier, had just 1 fence down. well, the Longines upright goes 4. So, don't think it'll be quick enough. No, and only just inside the time. 19th drops him down to, so 1 fence down, and that's the 19th fastest for Fulter. It is 4 penalties for Ipswich, Van der Vulschaka and Shane Breen for Ireland. Well, what a shame for Shane. One more chance for Paul O'Shea, and Skylar Glenn's presence, second last jump, an ultimate rider in the Longines Grand Prix. Well, our next 2 jumpers are Christophe van der Hesselt and Identity Vitserol by Air Jordan. 10-year-old mare for Belgium. Christophe, who's had a really good season so far, hopefully, and looking forward to capitalising on that here in Samorin for the Longines Grand Prix. Clever bit of footwork. Oh, wasn't he clever? In fact, mare clever coming through the treble. Really nimble, really agile on her feet. Right to the 6th. Nicely done too. Well, Belgium, what a number of good riders, good horses here over the weekend. They better be quiet. Just as I say that. It's interesting, those horses that are coming in as well, one before, one of the horses are just taking their eye off them, off the line as they're coming in through the archway. It is 2 fences down in the time of 77.79. 8 jumping though for Christophe van der Hesselt and Identity Vitserol. Well, we're down into the last 7. 7 riders left to go. That's 8 riders left to go. 8 left to go. And it is for Italy now. Luigi Policello. Luigi riding Panama Tame by Carthago. South Francais, 15-year-olds representing Italy. Well, following the last horse jump, there'll be a break of 15 minutes. Our last horse jumps in a few horses' time. Break of 15 minutes before we start with the second round of the Longines Grand Prix. 12 riders in the second round. Well, took their own line, own unique line through the treble, but they left everything where it should be. Luigi Policello and Panama Tame. Final rider for Italy. 7 down and 8B. Well, a bit of an annoying kick out after 10. He wasn't very happy that he touched that pole. Didn't have it down, but he had a good rub at it. And rides the last. Has another kick out for good measure. It is 2 fences on the floor though for Luigi Policello and Panama Tame. 8 jumping penalties. Interesting to see the 12 that do come forward, because it looks like at the moment with only 7 left to go, where we've got some really good horses still left to come, then out of those 7 are clear. We may be taking some fast full falters as well. Well, next to jump in the Longines Grand Prix is just see the horses' boots being checked, also the bits being checked by the FEI stewards here at this fabulous venue in Samorin. It is Janneke Sprunger, Janneke for Switzerland, Bacardi VDL. Bacardi VDL by Corland, owned by the four stables, 12-year-olds. This young lady has certainly put her name down on the map as well, watching her through her career. She's a very cool head. Ooh. What is going on out there?
Whatever happens, they will be going on for these second rounds.
Just lost a little bit of confidence in the air. Whether that was shadows, that was going in the same direction. Interestingly, looking at the fences out there, the line that's going in the direction that she's about to come down is the treble, and then 11, 12 and 13. Will he look down here? Jumps 11. Yeah, she's having to ride hard. Jumps 12. And the last. That unfortunate inside the time. 2 fences down though in the treble means 8 penalties for Janneke Sprunger and Bacardi VDL. It's almost that the horses are having fences down through no fault of their own. It's more spooking that's causing the fences, not carelessness for the majority of them, which is really unfortunate. She's taken Bacardi back to that treble to have a look at the shadows as well, just to say, look, it's okay, I'm not sure what you were looking at, you know, you've jumped enough rounds, and just watching on the replay here how hard she had to ride down the line, coming 11, 12 and 13, because again Bacardi had a really good look at the shadows on the floor. The time here, local time, is just about 20 to 5, and the sun certainly isn't low, but the shadows are increasingly getting longer and longer, and especially on that line, as we talked about, the line is the treble from 5A, B and C, and then that other line in the same direction with the sun behind it at 11, 12 and 13. Well, now into the arena is for Sweden. This is Carlsen and Jakonu by Jakablu, the 10-year-old by Jakablu. Just a young lady who has produced this horse so very well. Combination that they do know each other quite well now. Come up through the ranks. Certainly jumping, got in the air over 10. Going back to this last influential line, 11, 12, 13. All in a straight line over the water tray. Clear. Oh no, just has the back rail and clears the last. It's a slow time, only just inside the time allowed, but it's four penalties for Carlsen and Jakonu. 5 left to go, 1 for Spain, 2 for Brazil, 1 for Ireland, 1 for Slovakia. That's the order they come in. It's Spain first, then 2 for Brazil, 1 for Ireland, Paul O'Shea, and the last jump for Slovakia. Interesting top 12 that will come forward for the second round. We started off Nicolas Philipparts, and I did say as soon as he jumped whether he'd lulled a few of these riders into a false sense of security with a clear. It is now Manuel Fernandez Sarro. Manuel riding Usador de Rouet by Cusador, 10-year-old Samorin Grey, this lovely stallion coming forward in the Longines Grand Prix. So starting off with a good clear 3 fences, 4. Watching him jump in his career, he's one that struggles. Let's see if he does. Yeah, struggles, always has struggled with treble combinations. And I was just about to say before he came in there, I think his hand's going to go up and he's going to retire, or he's going to turn a circle and go on again, just regaining a little bit of composure, I think, and then going to go on again. Whether he'll jump down this line 7 and 8 will be time to tell. He's going to carry on, which is great to see, because it just gives the horse a bit of confidence after a bit of a knock like that. But he does just, yeah, now the hand is going to go up. He is going to retire now. Watching this horse through his career, he's always spent a lot of time in the air, never really made the distances. And going up, and he's increasing in height now, 1.60 m. My worry for him was coming to the treble. It's quite forward on the 2 and then quite short on the 1. It's upright oxer. And I think it was nice, this horse, that had the uprights coming in, but he had to keep pressing. And he doesn't really react enough from the leg when he lands to then make the distance up. But he did jump a couple of fences. Wasn't the happiest of rounds, though, for the Spanish rider. Manuel Fernandez Sarro and Usador Rui, they have retired. Well, now 4 left to go, and it's 2 left for Brazil, 1 for Ireland, 1 for Slovakia. And that was the slow-mo coming out of the treble combination, 5A, B and C. Well, into the arena is 4th last to go for Brazil. Cassio Rivetti, and he rides Ula Hop Boy. Ula Hop Boy is Nard Stallion, 10-year-old by Lande Fetan. Self-Francais. And Cassio Rivetti is one of those up-and-coming riders. They've got a good team. Stanley Van Patient, the chef de keep of the Brazilians. Certainly, no, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Overtime. Stanley Van Patient, the Mexican chef de keep. Brazilians, with their chef de keep, is doing a really good job, because they are growing and growing and growing. Come on, come on, come on. So turning back to 9, this Castle. And jumps the last, so it is 1 fence down, just takes him outside the top 12, finishing in 13th place at the moment with 3 left to go in a time of 77.83 seconds for Cassio Rivetti and Ula Hop Boy. Well, that was a shame, because it was all going so very well. Another one just come into the arena is Yuri Mancio Girios and Vitiki. They've had a good look at that fence in the middle of that final line at fence 12. Just see, he does a little skip coming down and makes it quite difficult for himself. That was a real shame, real shame. He jumped superbly around the early part of the course. As we move down to the final 3, Yuri Mancio Girios and Vitiki. This is just up by Valentino, 10-year-old stallion. So Brazil once again, 5 representing Brazil here in the Longines Grand Prix, with 1 for Ireland, Paul O'Shea, and then the last rider for Slovakia of the 48. So it came forward 15 nations across the board. Jumping very nicely, 5-6, coming around the corner to 7, this Oxer at 7. Lovely style of riding, Yuri. It's wonderfully in balance. Lets the horse do the job underneath him. He could lower leg over a fence as well, lands. in complete balance, preparation for the next fence. Oh. Well, again, that fence falls. It fell for Katia Rivetti as well. One fence down for Yuri Montioguras and Vitiki. 4 penalties takes them into 14th place. Won't see him in the top 12 coming forward for the second round. As we look forward to the last 2 in the Longines Grand Prix.
So for the moment, still Evelina Tovek and Martin Fuchs waiting for their winning tickets to join the second round.
Didn't really deserve to have that fence down because he jumped really remarkably well the whole way round and just gave that front rail a little bit of a rub as he came through 11 and 12. 12 has been that influential fence. It is Paul O'Shea now for Ireland with Scarra Glen's presence. This is owned by the Scarra Glen stables and Paul O'Shea himself by Contendro. 10-year-old stallion, Scarra Glen's presence, Paul O'Shea for Ireland. Well, Ireland again with a number of riders in the Longines Grand Prix, 4 in total. We've not had a clear round from Ireland yet. We'll be hoping for one for Paul. So coming to the treble, Longines treble. 2 strides between uprights, 1 stride for the Oxer, and has the back rail of the Oxer down. So we won't see an Irish in the final, I don't think, because this is not the quickest of horses in the first round. He'll need to put a bit of pressure on now, but the risk of doing that is he pushes him slightly out of his comfort zone. He does like to go a little bit steady in his first rounds. Yeah, just letting him drift on, just a little bit flat down to the Oxer so far. Turning him out to this difficult line. Concentrating down to the last fence. Jumps the last as well, 77.19. But it is 2 fences down, total of 8 penalties for Paul O'Shea. Ireland will not feature in the second round, I don't think. It'll come down to a few of the 4 falters. And the quickest of those 4 falters will make up the top 12, and going forward we'll bring you those confirmed just as soon as we can. Well, 1 left to go, 48 of 48. It is Bronislav Chudba and Zapria. So Bronislav Chudba and Zapria are the last to go. This is by Coleman, Holsteiner, 11-year-old mare. Now, what can Slovakia do? We had one Slovakian earlier in the day. They went a little bit earlier down the list. Was Radovan Silo at the 12 jumping and 2 time. This doesn't look the quickest of start, but we know that Zapria is fairly deceptive across the ground. Got a big horse. Makes the jumping look incredibly easy. Let's treble 2 strides, 1 stride, up in the air, get out of the way. Makes. Ooh, he just used his voice coming down there as well, just saying whoa, whoa, whoa. Here's Prix. I'm watching outside. There's a lot of if there's not just one person on this horse's back, there's about a few hundred. They're all willing and wishing for a clear round and to have a Slovakian in the second round of this Longines Grand Prix. 3 fences left to jump. Has a good look. Up in the air, 1 left. And has the last down, finishes in 21st place. So that sadly won't be good enough to go into the final 12 into the second round. Real shame, because I'm sure he felt the pressure coming down to the last. Gets a round of applause from the home crowd, but it wasn't to be for Bronislav Chiliba and Zeprier. Last to go in the Longines Grand Prix. There is a short break now where we will have a quick change of course. There's a shortened course around 2. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. We'll give you the confirmed top 12 that jump forward into the second round as well. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're watching. The weather here is absolutely perfect. The ground conditions fantastic. The crowd certainly enjoying all of the action and all of the entertainment here. You can see them all up in the grandstand area, all around the banks as well, in this purpose-built venue here in Samorin in Slovakia. It's got everything here. There's stabling, permanent stabling, a huge gymnasium, Olympic size. Here are the top 12. So, Paul Esterman, Holger Hetzel, Philip Weishaupt. Going down, Marcus Fuchs was the last to qualify on the 4. There are 4 of them. Stephanie Holman, Shane Sweetnam for Ireland. So Ireland are through. And Evelina Tovek. The top 12 just missing out. Ula Hotboy, Castillo, Rivetti for Brazil. Peter de Vos is missing out too. Werner Muth for Switzerland. And moving further down that leaderboard, it is Shane Breen not making it through. Quite a slow time, 80.75 with 1 fence down. And Steve Gernat, the former Olympic gold medalist, Hannah didn't have the best of times. 2 fences down in a time of 78.01, 29th. And we then go down further with 2 eliminations, 1 retirement in the Longines Grand Prix. It certainly was a track that we thought would cause a bit of trouble, and it certainly did. One of the most influential fences down at fence 12 in the first round. And just looking to our second round fences, doesn't look like that will be in the final fence, will it? Nope, not in the final fence in the final round, so that will be relief to a number of riders. But as I was saying, purpose-built facilities here, Olympic-sized pools, football pitches, hotels, bars, restaurants. It really is second to none, and a lot of the riders, Rodrigo Pessoa saying one of the best facilities he thinks he's seen for a very long time. 5-5 here in Slovakia. We'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes' time for round 2 of the Longines Grand Prix.
Between technology and style. Imagine lightness, femininity, style, and give it a shape. X-shape. The new writing bridges for a perfect fit and maximum comfort. Ever looking ahead.
As the title partner and official timekeeper of the series, Longines is proud to be associated with newly named Longines FEI Nations Cup of Slovakia. Longines' passion for aggressive sports dates back to 1878.
Well, welcome back to Samorin for the Longines Grand Prix. 12 riders coming forward for the second round. We're going in reverse order. Martin Fuchs and Chaplin first to go. Evelina Tovek for Sweden. Shane Sweetnam for Ireland. The only one for Ireland. Stephanie Holman, Sweden. Louis Philippe is out fifth. Abdul Said for Egypt, seventh. Nicola Philipparts first the clear rounds in eighth. Philippe Verstapt, 10th. Holger Hetzel, 11th. And then last to jump, Paul Esterman, fastest of the clear rounds from the first round, will be last to go as we look forward to this jump off. And they start off over fence 7. That the Oxer by the grandstand, then turn right-handed to 15, new fence, and then sharp left-handed to the last fence in the first round, fence 13, the Longines upright. This time with a rail on the top, then right-handed to the double 8A and 8B with one stride in between in front of the grandstands, and then the gallop to 9 and 10. Well, that distance down there proved fairly influential in the first round. They jumped 9-10, and then the new loop back left-handed, and they come towards the archway, the Longines archway, over fence 16 to complete what is a very twisty, tight second round in the Longines Grand Prix. And the time at 50 seconds, we're going to see that beaten, I'm sure. But 12 combinations coming forward, the first of those for Switzerland. Switzerland with 2 in, first to go and last to go. 7 fences, 8 jumping efforts, and the course designer Uliano Vezzani once again has set a fantastic course here for the second round in the Longines Grand Prix. Well, starting off is Switzerland, finishing off is Switzerland, and in the melee, 2 for Sweden, also 2 for Germany, Sweden, Ireland with 1 as well, Belgium and Egypt, and joined also by Brazil. The crowds are here, and they'll be packed here on Sunday for the first leg of the Nations Cup. That starts at 1 o'clock local time, and the final preparations in the warm-up area. Amazing facilities, top-class, world-class facilities here in Samorin for the Nations Cup, and also today the Longines Grand Prix, first of the real exciting international competitions. 1.60 m the height of the fences, and we look forward to this second round, which I'm sure is going to please and entertain many of us here watching, and hopefully you at home wherever you're watching all around the world. The scene is set, the course is set, and we're just waiting for our first horse in for this second round. It'll be tight, it'll be exciting and nail-biting right down to the last. They're running in reverse order, which really does mount the pressure for those coming at the end of the class. And Paul Esterman for Switzerland, Curtis Seated will be last to jump in this class. Holger Hetzel, Germany. Philipp Verstapt for Germany as well, third, last out. Malin Bayard Johnson for Sweden, fourth last. Nicola Philipparts, he was the first to go in round 1, jumped a superb clear round, rather lulled a few of the riders into a full sense of security with that superb clear. We didn't see another one for a number of riders, but the first is now into the arena, and we look forward to this second round for the Longines Grand Prix 2018 here at Samorin in Slovakia. Well, an amazing atmosphere here. You could cut the tension with a knife. Martin Fuchs is first to go for Switzerland, riding Chaplin at 1 fence down in a time of 77.74. They're bringing forward their penalty scores from the first round. This 11-year-old stallion by Verdi. Martin from the dynasty of Fuchs, and he will be first. Watching to my left-hand side, a number of the riders just seeing how this first round rides, because it's a tight, twisty track, and it's all going to come down to inside lines, whether or not he's going to take the risk with 4 penalties. I would say he will certainly put the pedal to the metal. So this new line to 15, then the sharp left-handed turn back to the last fence in the first round. The Longines upright, swap the plank for the rail this time, and then the right-handed turn to the double at 8A, 8B. Getting his eye on, sees his stride, jumps beautifully in. Now 9 and 10, a real opportunity to gallop down this line, stands off the wall. Takes a stride out, nearly does, just about gets it. Then the handbrake turn, back down to the last, gallop down to the last. And clear, and he stops the clock, 41.98. 41.98 in the second round. Gives him a total of 4 penalties. Well, that sets the standard in the Longines Grand Prix second round. He took some tight lines. I think we're going to see some strides taken out though as we move further down that leaderboard of the 12 that come forward. As into the main arena here. Really is a wonderful setting in the sunlight. It's for Sweden, Evelina Tovek and Mill Sheridan by Empire. One fence down in the first round. Coming to fence 7 in the first round, the first fence of the second round. Jumps across on the angle to 15. Then really good tight turn back to the last fence in the first round. The Longines upright, the double at 8A, 8B. Has the first part down. So that 4 penalties to add for Evelina Tovek. Jumps the wall. Just hanging a bit to the right hand side. Coming down that line. Now galloping to the last. It's the Longines upright. And clears that, stops the clock, 42.39. So total of 8 faults over the 2 rounds. Look as quick as it was, 42 seconds. We're going to see some sub-40s, I'm sure, throughout the course of the afternoon in the second round. But it is that next to go and the sole representative for Ireland in the second round of the Longines Grand Prix. Representing Ireland, Shane Sweetnam with Indra van der Ude Eidhof by Castano. Grey mare, 10 years old, 1 fence down in the first round. All in all, 4 riders came forward from Ireland, just 1 into the jump off though. Setting off in fine form over the Boxer 15, sharp left-handed turn. The ground really good. The riders can take the chances, take the risk on the turns because it's holding up really well. We had that rain yesterday, but it's certainly not made it slippy in the arena. Of course, a number of the horses wearing studs in their shoes just for extra grip. Sees a good stride to the wall and now pushes on down the line. And clear so far. Going for time. Time is looking pretty good. Not quite going to break that 40-second barrier, but 40.40. Total of 4 faults. Really good clear round for Indra van der Ude Eidhof and Shane Sweetnam for Ireland. Just the 4 from the first round. Wow, it is building. We're definitely going to see sub 40 seconds in this second round. We now welcome in for Sweden Stephanie Hullman with Flips Little Sparrow. 4 penalties in the first round. Flips Little Sparrow, they've had an amazing time. Winner of the, if I remember right, the 11th leg of the series. Some good form. What can they do in the jump off today? Second round. Keep calling it a jump off. It's not a jump off. Second round. She does have a slip on the turn and has the Longines rail down as a result. Again, hanging towards the collecting ring. Certainly been one of the Achilles heels of many of the horses today in this arena. I think it'd be a little bit of a wake-up call for a number of riders. Jumps the last and stops the clock, 41.08. Second fastest so far, but 4 faults, total of 8 jumping across the board. 41.08 is her time. Does take her into third place at the moment. So in the lead for Ireland on 4 faults and 40.40, Shane Sweetnam. In second, Martin Fuchs, 4 penalties, 41.98. And in third, Stephanie Hillman and Phillips Little Sparrow on 8 faults, 41.08. Well, 4 gone, 8 left to go. And it's Brazil next to jump in the Longines Grand Prix. The first of the 2 Brazilians. Picking him up as he comes under the Longines arch into the arena. It is Luis Felipe Azevedo Filho with Chasito by Chaco Blue, 12-year-old gelding. Had 1 time penalty, only just 69/100ths of a second over the time in the first round. Really good clear. It was unfortunate to pick up the 1 time penalty, just over the time. What can you pull out of the bag? Looks to be a steady start. Will you get the motor up and the gears up? Let's get the revs up. Maybe Francisco. No, he's not going for time by the look of it. And it's 15. Comes back to the Longines upright, taking his time for a steady double clear. He only had 6 of those. Really good stride down to the Oxer. Now turns back towards home. Just the Longines upright. Fence 16. And clears the last at a time of 50.77. So time. So 1 time fold in the first round, 1 time fold in the second. 50.77. Time is 50 seconds. So a total of 2 goes into currently Brazil goes into the lead with 2. So the slowest, but he's the only one with clear jumping, just 2 time faults. Now Luis Francisco de Azevedo with Comic. They jumped clear in the first round, only just inside the time in the first rounds. By Verdi. He'll certainly go for a quicker time, I'm sure. This is the first of the clears from the first round. 7, in fact, 7 clears from the first round. Handbrake turn back to the last fence in the first round. This Longines upright jumps that and kicks on to the double at 8. Sees a stride and answers. Comic answers the questions, gets away with it. Now 3 fences left to jump, coming down this line. Again, sees a stride and Comic answers. Lovely, lands, turns. Now down to the last, keep galloping. Is he going to take a chance? No, he sits and takes a pull. And over the last, 40.87. So 40.87 currently takes him into first place. So double clear for Luis Francisco de Azevedo. Comic 40.87 is their time. I'm sure we're going to see this 40-second barrier broken. There's some very quick combinations still left to come, and one of those, and gaining a lot of experience over the years for Egypt, and jumps a really good first round is Abdul Said and Callisto. Callisto by Quasimodo, 11-year-old gelding, clear in the first round, 79.59. The biggest Abdul, but he is a lovely rider in the saddle. So Callisto, what can they do? Ooh, what an angle coming to the 15th. He's jumping across, lands, turns. Come on, turn. Wasting time. It's the difference with jumping on grass and jumping on a surface. Some of the riders just don't take that added risk. Not quite going to break the 40 seconds. Ooh, he's flying down to this oxer though. Wow, lands, turns again. Not quite going to make it. Takes a risk at the last, and through the finish, 41.74. So second place for Abdul Said and Callisto for Egypt. What a round. It's unfortunate the turn just lost him his valuable seconds after the second fence in the jump off, in the second round rather, over the oxer, newly numbered fence 15. Just as he turned, it just had a bit of an issue with turning. Callisto wanted to go straight on, Abdul getting no turn, and he wasn't really listening. You can see the long shanks on the bridle, and he just is a little bit fighting against that. Well, it is still Brazil leading. Brazil 1, Egypt 2, Brazil 3. Currently in the lead, Luis Francisco Davido and Comic clear, 40.87, double clear. Second, Abdul Said, Callisto, double clear, 41.74. So we just understand that Chili Willy has lost a shoe and is seeing the farrier, so they'll be coming a little bit later on, a little bit of a lull in proceedings here. We'll see when they come in, but they lost a shoe in the warm-up, so they're just having a shoe put back on. Whether they'll come in order or whether we'll see somebody else come instead of them, we'll find out in due course. Well, that leaderboard at the moment, it is Brazil 1, Egypt 2, Brazil 3, Ireland 4. Shane Sweetham, the fastest of the four faulters. And that 4 faults from the first round. So just learning that there may be a short break, or Maylin Bayard Johnson may come in. She may not want to go slightly ahead of her time. Just looking out to see whether we can see much from the warm-up area. Not much to be seen at the moment, not much action going on out there. A couple of horses jumping, a couple of horses warming up. But it's unfortunate when that happens with the loss of a shoe in the warm-up area. They warm up on grass and then come in here. But better to happen out there than it happen in here in the arena and slip on some turns. There are the first few that have gone so far. That leaderboard is the 1, 2, 3. Luis Francisco Davido for Brazil, Comic, double clear, 40.87. Abdul Said and Callisto for Egypt, second on double clear, 41.74. And in third for Brazil, it is Luis Felipe Davido Filho and Chiquito on 50.77. That one-time fault in the first, one-time fault in the second round means he finishes on 2. Well, all excitement building here in the Longines Grand Prix. First real big international class here in the amazing facilities in Samorin in Slovakia, and of course leg 1 of the Nations Cup. That starts live on FEI TV on Sunday at 1 p.m. local time. Hope you can join us for all of the action of the first leg. Of course, 8 legs across the board. The wagons then roll on from Samorin here in Slovakia to Le Beau in France in the middle of May, then on to St Gallen in Switzerland in the first week in June, then on to Sopot, Poland, middle of June, 14th to 17th, Rotterdam in the Netherlands, end of June, then Falsterbro, Sweden, 12th to the 15th of July, Hickstead in Great Britain, 26th to 29th of July, and then on to Dublin, the last leg, leg 8, 8th to 12th of August, before the finals in Barcelona. Well, a long way to go in the Nations Cup. That starts on Sunday, 1 o'clock local time, but we're just midway here in the Longines Grand Prix. There is Nicola just about to get back on after having the shoe put back on. We'll just want a few minutes then warm up in the warm-up area. They've been stood a little bit cold now. The muscles will have just gone down. He'll want to warm the muscles up a little bit more again before he comes in to jump his second round in the Longines Grand Prix. So just entering the warm-up area. I should think he'll have a canter round, pop a couple of fences, and then come back in. His warm-up was virtually done, and as I said, much better to lose his shoe in that warm-up area than lose it in the middle of his second round, because it's quite a quick round, quite a few twists and turns, and quite easy to lose a shoe on the turn. But it is back on, and we should be back underway with the last 5 riders. It is Nicolas Philippaerts, Malin Bayard-Johnson, Philip Westhaupt, Holger Heltzel and Paul Esterman last to go. Well, certainly our arena staff, photographers, media, all enjoying the beautiful sunshine here in the main international arena for the Longines Grand Prix. As in to the arena comes Nicolas Philippaerts and Chili Willy by Casal, 10-year-old Holsteiner, the stallion. Clear in the first round, 78.55 was his time. We're coming, of course, in reverse order. Nicolas Philippaerts for Belgium, Chili Willy. Let's see what they can do. He's always one that throws the gauntlet down and says, okay, yeah, he started off like he means business as well. Sees a good stride to 15, lands, he turns in the air. This is where Abdul Said lost a little bit of time with Callisto, just fighting on the turn. But Chili Willy answers a little bit more the questions. Stands a long way off the Oxer going in at 8, has the back rail down as consequence. Well, that's a real shame, because he saw his distance, but it was a little bit too far off. And now just the final fence. Don't think it was going to be quite quick enough either. We're looking for sub 40 to be anywhere near challenging for the lead. Jumps the last and takes him in to 6th place with a time of 42.27. For penalties, it is total into 6th place with the Belgian rider Nicolas Philippaerts and Chili Willy. Well, down to the final 4 now, and what a 4 we have to come. Pressure is on for the Longines Grand Prix. The lovely grey it is of Malin Bayard-Johnson, H&M Q Chana 42, clear 78.45 in the first round. Malin Bayard-Johnson, H&M Q Chana 42 for Sweden. 4th last to go in the second round of the Longines Grand Prix. Superb clear in the first round. Very cool lady under pressure. just slips on the turn. Fights a little bit to the Longines upright. Not sure she's going as quick as some we've seen, but it's going to be a double clear that's going to win this competition. And the fastest of the double clears so far is the Brazilian on 40.87. So they've still got to keep the pedal to the metal pretty much the whole way around, coming down to the last. Deceptively quick, because they're not going to be far off that 40 seconds. But they go into third place. So third place it is for Malin Bayard Johnson and H&MQ Chana 43.22 is their time. And useful clear round, so double clear it is. Takes them into third. Brazil lead, Egypt second, Sweden third, Brazil fourth. Well, it is now 3 riders left to go, 2 from Germany, 1 from Switzerland, and the first of the Germans to go, and just cantering around the arena, is Philipp Westhaupt and Asatier by Diamant de Semi, 11-year-old Français mare. Clear 77.71 in the first round. It was a quick round in the first round. So 2 from Germany, 1 from Switzerland, putting the pressure on. Lands, turns, balance. This is where the balance really comes into play. Then land and ride, and press for that upright. Keep the rhythm, keep the balance around the turn to the double at 8A, 8B. Now you can take a bit of a chance. He's kicking on. 24 seconds, yeah, on the turn. So he's thereabouts. He's going to take a stride out down to this Oxer. And now land and turn. Inside this fence. No, yes he is. So this is on. This is very nearly going to be inside the 40.33. It does take the lead. So great to clear around there from the German rider Philipp Westhaupt and Asatier. He has now put the pressure on the last 2 to jump, 1 for Germany, 1 for Switzerland. And interestingly, we saw Malin Bayard Johnson. She did it coming out of the Oxer at 10 inside the 2 fences that are not jumped in any of the rounds that we've seen today, but inside that fence and galloping down to the Longines upright. Really did save time. Well, the second last to go, penultimate rider in the Longines Grand Prix. It's the lovely little Legioner and Holger Hetzel. Holger Hetzel, Legioner for Germany. This by Limbus, 14-year-old gelding, 77.54 in the first round. And I think we could have seen a lot quicker lands. Oh, rail goes. Germany still leads with the first of the German threats, Philipp Westhaupt, and has a tier. Another one to go inside. The riders are learning. Could be a quick round. Oh, I said we see the 40-second barrier being beaten, but he goes 9th. Time 43.32, and it is 4 penalties. Goes into 9th place so far, drops them down. It is still Philipp Westhaupt and Asatier in the lead. Germany lead, Brazil second, Egypt third, Sweden fourth. As we now welcome in for Switzerland the last to jump. It is Paul Esterman with Curtis Seitz. What will he do? Can Switzerland clinch this Longines Grand Prix title? He started off quick. He's quick. Oh, he's going to waste time by doing that. Come on, Curtis. He's doing too much more of that. Lands, turns. Come on, come on. Keep coming. Keep coming. You can hear the clock in the background, putting pressure on these riders. Ooh. Clever. Now he's got to move. Now he's got to gallop. And put the pressure on. Whoa. Now land and turn again. Is he going to be quick enough? It's all there for the taking. 37, 38. And the last goes. The time, it wasn't quite quick enough. 41.20 with 4 penalties at the last. Paul Esterman and Curtis Seat, they finished 7th. But a really good win for Germany. It is Philipp Verstappen and Azatier. They win the Longines Grand Prix. Double clear, 40.33. Second to Luis Francisco de Azevedo, Comic, Brazil. Third to Abdul Said Callisto for Egypt. Third. In fourth for Sweden, Malin Bayard Johnson, H&M Chana. In fifth for Brazil, Louis Philippe Azevedo Filo, Chiquito. Sixth for Ireland, Shane Sweetnam and Indra van der Oude Eidhoff. In seventh for Switzerland, Paul Esterman and Curtis Seitz. And eighth, Martin Fuchs and Chaplin for Switzerland in 8th place. Well, they are the top 8 in the Longines Grand Prix. Stay with us because we will have the prize giving for this class, the big international class here on the proper first day of competition, before we then move on to the Longines FEI Nations Cup on Sunday. There is confirmation of the leaderboards. Martin Fuchs 8th, Nicola Philippas 9th. Going further down is they're just outside the top 12. Cassia Rivetti for Brazil 13th. They only jumped in around 1. So great win there for Philipp Verstappen and Azatier for Germany. Double clear, 40.33. Double clear also for Luis Francisco de Azevedo, Comic in 40.87. Double clear. Also jumping double clear, Abdul Said and Callisto for Egypt, 41.74. Well, it is prize giving time, and the arena just being set here. Great to see so many of the crowd staying as well for the prize giving of the Longines Grand Prix. What a competition that we've had with over 40. We have 48 starters and 15 nations represented across the board for this Grand Prix. Really exciting climax, and what a course Uliano Bezzani set for round 1 and round 2. Just showing that it wasn't all about quickness of speed, it was about agility and also the ability to turn on a sixpence, to jump those big fences at 1.60 m, land and turn in balance and jump, and it really was a test of all-round horsemanship for the 12 to jump. So some interesting rounds as well, and one of those fences that we saw that was an influential fence in round 1, and I think the riders fairly relieved they didn't have to jump it in round 2, was fence 12 with that little arch underneath, and with the sun, the way the sun has moved around the arena, really did set a bit of a shadow on the landing side, and the horses were just looking through, and we saw a lot of refusals there, a lot of eliminations there as well, and some big surprises with some big names going out at that fence, at fence 12. It was an influential fence. We also saw the only that line, but the treble line in the same direction, pretty much in parallel, just a bit further along the course, also causing its fair share of trouble throughout round 1 with the 48 competitors that came forward. But a hugely exciting competition, and I know the atmosphere outside is certainly one that's everyone's enjoyed, and it's drawn in lots of people to watch the Grand Prix, and I know a lot of people due on Sunday for the first round of the Nations Cup here in Samorin. Many of you probably pronounce Samorin, but I understand the local pronunciation is Samorin for the first leg of the Nations Cup here in Slovakia. 8 legs, of course, across the boards. We finish up in Barcelona for the finals we go on from Samorin to La Baule in France, 17th to 20th of May. Put the dates in your diary. St Gallen in Switzerland, 31st to 30th of June. Sopot in Poland, 14th to 17th of June. Rotterdam in the Netherlands, 21st to 24th of June. Falsterbro, Sweden, 12th to the 15th of July. Hickstead in Great Britain, 26th to 29th of July. And then the final leg is Dublin in Ireland, 8th to the 12th of August. Lots of points on offer in the European division, and it's 100 for first, moving down 92nd, 80 for third, 70 for fourth. And a lot of leagues being run all around the world. There are the horses being dressed in the warm-up area, and the winner of the Longines Grand Prix. Congratulations to Philippe Westhaupt and Azatir, victorious, and by a small country margin. It wasn't much in it, just a few 100ths of seconds separating the first two. Germany 1, Brazil 2, Egypt 3. Great to see the young man from Egypt up there, Abdul Said, and Callisto collecting third place in the Longines Grand Prix. So we will be moving on with the prize giving very shortly. The top 6 coming in for the prize giving, the official prize giving ceremony here. Just walking around before they come in. The scene pretty much sets here in the main arena. The ground staff done an amazing job and quickly cleared the arena. The media, photographers, they're all in, set, ready. Representatives are also in position from the organising committee, and also the regional sales manager Dmitry Dmitriev from Longines, and of course the winner of the Longines Grand Prix, Philippe Westhaupt, receiving in a few moments' time a brand new Longines watch. So there are the presentation party, the young ladies with the prizes. There is the Longines watch. Dmitry Dmitriev, the Longines regional sales manager, along with the representatives of the organising committee here.
It was indeed a really nice Grand with 2 runs designed by
Spaziciova, the representative of Exponent Sphere. Exponent, the amazing facility here. Maybe mentioned earlier, you have heard that there is everything here you could wish for if you're a sportsman. There is full-size football pitches, Olympic-size swimming pools, an amazing 2-floor gymnasium, permanent stabling, arenas galore, all weather and grass, hotel, restaurants, bars, you name it, it is here. Well, coming in then and being applauded, the winner of the Longines Grand Prix is Philippe Westhaupt, and Azatir getting a rapturous applause, wearing the Longines rug, sash, rosette, looking pretty pleased with himself as well, so he should. 48 combinations, big class, the Grand Prix, and victorious, one of only 3, in fact 4 double clears. In second place for Brazil, Luis Francisco de Azevedo, Comic, also donning the Longines rug, sash and rosette, and Abdul Said Kalisto for Egypt in third place, wearing the Longines rug. They're just going to be lined up for the presentation of awards here for the Longines Grand Prix, and standing in front or in between the Longines watches is the winner of this class. Fabulous class it was as well. So the event director of the Longines Nations Cup, Denis Montecolo, the Nations Cup of Slovakia, the authorization committee and the sponsors as well. Andre Sorely, the president of the grand jury, Willem Leuten, the foreign judge. So the winner being congratulated once again, Philipp Weishaupt and Asatir. Asatir did an amazing job, really quick second round. Double clear, 40.33. 40.87 was the second quickest time. So we now stand for the national anthem of Germany. Well, congratulations to Philipp Weishaupt for Germany winning the Longines Grand Prix. So the team now step forward for the presentation of awards. So Dimitrev, the Longines Regional Sales Manager, now presenting the watch, Longines watch, to the winner of the Longines Grand Prix. What a prize to win as well. Katrina Svazichyova, representative of the Exponent Sphere, presenting the Uldana's Artistic Glass Trophy to the winner as well. Being congratulated by the event director and the president of the grand jury, and also the foreign judge of this class. So from Willem Leuten, Carsten Andre Sorely and Denis Montecolo. And moving down into second place, the presentation party moves to the second place, combination of Luis Francisco de Azevedo and Comic. Just a few 100ths of seconds separating the top two. 40.33 the winning time, 40.87 was second. And again, once again, the glass trophy being presented to the second place rider by Katrina Svazichyova, representative of the Exponent Sphere, being congratulated again by Denis Montecolo, the event director of the Longines Grand Prix, Carsten André Sully, the president of the grand jury, and Willem Leuten, the foreign judge from the Netherlands. Now we're into third place, and really good third place for the young Egyptian Abdul Said and Callisto. Abdul once again being congratulated by the presentation party, by Denis Montecolo. And once again, Katerina Zadivjova stepping forward to present the glass trophy to our third. Callisto having a lovely munch there on the fabulous grass here in the main arena. A little bit hungry. Very relaxed. In fact, while the national anthem was playing for Germany, a lot of the horses were having a little bit of a munch out there. In fourth place was Malin Barriard Johnson, H&M Q-Chana for Sweden. And again being congratulated is Montecolo, and also by Katrina Zadivjova. Brava, they say to Malin. Well done indeed. Great round from them, 43.22 with a double clear. 4 double clears only in the Longines Grand Prix. She certainly enjoyed it. In fifth place was Louis-Philippe de Vido Filo Chaquito for Brazil. 2 Brazilians in the top 5. Looking forward very much to the Nations Cup on Sunday. And then moving down into 6th place. And in 6th place for Ireland, Shane Sweetnam, Indra van der Oud Aidoof. Total of 4 penalties from the first round. Super clear round in the second, and one of the fastest, second fastest in the jump off. But it was the 4 to count. They finished on 4 in 40.4. In 6th place, Ireland in 6th. Well, huge thanks to the presentation party, to Dmitry Dmitriev, the Longines Regional Sales Manager, to Katerina Zadivjova, the representative of X-Bionic Sphere, to Denis Montecolo, the event director, Carsten André Sully, the Norwegian president of the grand jury, to Willem Leuten, the foreign judge from the Netherlands. It is now lap of honour time. We're just clearing the arena to avoid any incidents as we're led away by the winner. That already gone, in fact, out of camera. Let's see if we can get them back on camera. There they are. It is Philipp Varshoeks and Azatier for Germany 1. Louis Francisco Duavido Comic, Brazil 2. Abdul Said Callisto 3. It is then Malin Barriard Johnson, H&M Q-Chana 42, Sweden 4th. 5th for Brazil, Louis-Philippe de Vido Filo, Brazil 5th. In 6th for Ireland, Shane Sweetnam and Indra van der Oud Aidoof. But going round once again, getting a round of applause, the winner of the Longines Grand Prix, Philipp Varshoeks and Azatier. Congratulations to him. Thank you very much to all of the competitors, 48 of them in total, 15 nations, to our presentation party and all of our representatives that took part in the award ceremony here in the main arena for the Samorin Longines Grand Prix. It is all eyes now focused on all of the action in Samorin for the first leg of the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup of Slovakia on Sunday. It all starts at 1 o'clock, local time, live on FEI TV. 8 nations coming forward, and we're really looking forward to a lot of exciting combinations and to see what happens for the beginning of this season and leg 1 of 8. We of course then move on throughout the series. Leg 1 here in Samorin, to La Bourg, France in May, St Gallen, Switzerland in June, also in the middle of June, Sopot, Poland, Rotterdam, Netherlands at the end of June, Falsterbro, Sweden in July, at the end of July, Hickstead in the United Kingdom, and then the final leg in Dublin in Ireland, 8th to the 12th of August, before the final in Barcelona. Wherever you've been watching all around the world, we hope you've enjoyed it. Join us again on Sunday, live on FEI TV for the first leg of the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup.